How are you doing, young lady?
On a Sunday,
Suppose I should go sit down here. I don't know what time it is.
Don Blado shows the strength of his faith
Amen.
with song,
Glory to God in the
with speech.
The first reading today is from Amos chapter 8.
And on every other day of the week,
Yep, new potatoes.
he shows his faith in a garden.
The food goes to Lutheran Social Services food pantry, so everybody gets fresh vegetables when they come to the food pantry.
He started the garden at the back of the church after he learned more about the growing problem of hunger in Alaska at a conference.
Went to the church council and they said, yeah, we think you're crazy, but you can go ahead and do it.
Bonnie, his wife,
He's very determined.
unsure about the idea.
To be honest, I wasn't so passionate when he started out. It's a lot of work.
But 5 years later, here she is,
Okay.
next to her husband and other volunteers. Their first year harvest, 25 pounds of fruits and veggies. This year,
4,000 pounds of produce is what we're hoping to get out of the garden this year.
even with lots of dirt and heavy lifting,
His faith. He has a lot of faith.
Don's faith in his garden has never wavered.
That's a good day's work.
But there was a time where his faith in God had.
I was 17, senior in high school, and my mother died. And I was angry at God for taking her away from me. It's still even difficult to think about.
His confidence uprooted. But life had a way of nourishing it back. His marriage, his 2 girls, and a church full of support.
I guess that's probably the one thing that brought me to the faith that I have today.
When Don delivers his harvest, the clients of Lutheran Social Services are thankful that his faith led him to that garden.
Hallelujah.
And Don is grateful that his faith led him back here. For Channel 2 News, I'm Samie Solina. If only the rain fell sooner, then Al Fisher might not be living in a campsite.
Well, I've got an 8x14 tent in this 12x14 awning, which a neighbor referred to as a redneck man cave because I have a recliner in it.
Not much for entertainment here, which is fine for Al because when the rain lets up, it's back to work.
It was quiet and peaceful. It kind of looks like a war zone now.
Missing his home of 40 years, his dog of 13.
When the last time I saw her, she was underneath the house. There was like firemen all around the house, and she was freaking out. She was on her last legs, so.
His cars, his beloved tools.
Before the fire, I'd be using a battery-operated drill right now.
The McKinley fire took what he had, so he's rebuilding by hand, just like he did with his cabin before. He has no choice. He has no insurance.
None whatsoever, no.
He said that's the case for many of his neighbors as well. But this Vietnam veteran is resilient. He has to be, with fall right around the corner.
This is the old cabin, the remnants of it.
A neighbor dug this pit for him. Fire crews check up on him daily.
And I've had friends offer to help. I've got a lot of friends here.
But rain is falling and winter is coming, so he'll find a way. For Channel 2 News, I'm Samie Solina. Moments at the Keys
And it goes, da-da-dee-da.
shaped Lonnie Liggett's career.
Suddenly I get this call, and I said, I've been selected for the Lifetime Achievement Award for Who's Who. It's the executive spotlight. I got the top of all of them.
But the top of the scale won't prepare him for this next verse.
With dementia, then you have these things that need to be filled in, kind of. Music has ability then to fill these in so that you feel complete.
Music lives in the part of the brain that is last to go for those with dementia. Diagnosed in August, he turned to tunes for support and to his wife, Jean Liggett.
Well, I've learned that he is very determined. I've seen changes in him.
Who, 2 days after his diagnosis, received her own.
I found that I'd had a reoccurrence of uterine cancer. It was terrible.
It was unbelievable.
Very devastating.
Unbelievable.
Lonnie didn't know what to do.
I think it's like Beethoven said,
He found the answer in the notes.
music is the entrance into higher knowledge. I've always been thinking about the next opera, the next concert, the next piece of music and so on like that, and I've stopped thinking that way now.
Not worrying about the future, living now, helping lead a choir unlike any he's ever worked with before.
And we have stories to tell you today about courage and stories about hope.
About struggle.
As I'm slowly having more and more memory problems, more and more of those things showing up.
She hasn't in any ways changed. However, she's still like mom.
Never suspected Alzheimer's. Why would we?
As if oxygen is not reaching my brain.
Just doesn't seem fair.
She's amazed us with her happy and accepting.
That's what dementia does, you know, it eats you up. So we bonded, didn't we? We bonded as a choir.
The singers are those dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's and their caregivers.
If you have dementia, a lot of the bad memories don't stay too long. I'm happier now than a lot of the times when I was carrying a lot of baggage.
Lonnie and Jean don't know what the future will bring. All that's certain is this moment.
Rather than expecting things to happen or being sad about things that happen, you tend to live more in the moment. And that's the moment that you have yourself.
For Channel 2 News, I'm Samie Solina.